We're going to put the win totals up real quick, and I want some reaction to you guys. This is the SEC win totals from our friends at Draftkings. Georgia, 11.5. These are only regular season, so it's either unbeaten or not unbeaten for Georgia, or as I like to call it, where Alabama used to always be.
Yeah, I take the over. I mean, I just don't know what I couldn't, with a good conscience, walk to the window and pick them losing one of these games.
Yeah, but you just said the other day.
I know, Lance.
Looking at it, it doesn't look like there's a game they can lose, but the chances of going 3 consecutive SEC schedules undefeated is
Well, let me tell you,
usually slim and none.
I'd bet the over, and I'd cringe like heck when they go to Tennessee. That's really the only one that would worry me.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play the under here. I think they're 11-1.
Alabama is at 10.5, which in the past used to always look like a steal.
I also would take the over here.
I would take the under here. I think 10-2 is a number.
Yeah,
10-2.
I'd go with 11-1 for Alabama.
DraftKings has Tennessee and LSU both at 9-5. We'll have to talk to Lil T. Is it just my Alabama-ism, or does that Tennessee logo look bigger than everybody else's?
Jeez.
Dunaway.
Gosh.
I got too much Tennessee in my life these days, Lil T. Come on.
Tennessee's an under, LSU's an over.
I think that's how I would go with those two, yeah.
Yeah. Ole Miss,
Under.
Texas A&M, Arkansas, all 7.5 on win totals.
I think I would go over on A&M. I would go under on Arkansas.
I'll go over on Ole Miss.
Over on Auburn.
We're not there yet.
We're not there
Sorry.
yet. Yeah.
I'd go over on
It's tough
Ole
to see from this.
Yeah, it is.
I'd go over on Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss could be an 8 or 9 win team. I like Jackson Dart. I think A&M is spot on right there. I guess I'd go over at 8, and I'd go under on Arkansas.
Then you get a big chunk of teams that basically it's almost bowl or not. Auburn, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vandy, and South Carolina all at 6.5.
Vandy?
No, excuse me. Did I say Vandy?
Yeah, you
I'm
did.
sorry. Auburn, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Missouri, South Carolina, all at 6.5.
By the way, I'm taking the under on Vandy at 6.5.
The only one I feel great about is, well, I don't feel great about any. I would take Auburn and Kentucky's over, and the others, I think I'd probably play the unders.
Boy, I mean,
the best bet on the board to me, Brown and LT, I told this to LT earlier, is over 6.5 on Kentucky
I got to look. They normally play a crap out of conference schedule.
and Louisville.
Well, I mean,
Last
of
year,
late that hasn't been great.
You did some of these win totals with me,
I did.
Yeah. and that was one you won.
Kentucky's out of conferences: Ball State, Eastern Kentucky, Akron. I mean, it's an embarrassing out of conference.
That's
schedule.
3 right there, not counting the Louisville game.
Yeah, they're at Louisville, which makes it tough. So you got 3 right there. They're at Vandy. They really ought to start 4-0. If Kentucky's not 4-0, something is going terribly awry.
And they've got Devin Leary at quarterback.
And then they host Florida, which I would imagine Kentucky's favored in that game.
They would be.
Hosting Florida, so they could easily be 5-0 going to Georgia.
Okay, when's the schedule get tough?
Well, going to Georgia.
Okay.
So they're 5-1, worst case
5-1.
scenario.
They come back home, play Missouri. There will be a favorite there.
So they could be 6-1.
It gets tricky after the bye, Lance, because they've got Tennessee at home.
I just
and
need one more win.
Tennessee's on that rivalry. Tennessee at home, at State, Alabama at home, at South Carolina, at Louisville. So past the bye, the wins get skinnier and skinnier. But, boy, before the bye, that is a manageable schedule for them.
I think they're 7-5.
What a terrible out of conference.
I think they could be 8 or 9 wins for Kentucky.
So how about we do it this way?
No.
What?
We're going to do some win totals. We'll do that bet like we always did.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know how we did it last year. If you remind me how we did it, I was going to say you do 10 totals, you get 7 out of 10, you win.
I'll go back and look how we did it, but
Okay.
I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Okay.
I was just saying, to me, Kentucky,
You like that over.
that's my favorite one on the board.
So far.
Back to the graphic.
This is embarrassing. What's next?
Florida surprises me at 5.5 and Vandy's
Well,
3.5
it's
to wrap up the league.
Somebody said in the chat room, Daniel, that at 7.5 is that it's in the conversation for A&M as an indictment on Jimbo. The fact that Florida's at 5.5 is an indictment on that program. How do you ever let the Florida program fall to where
Makes
their win
no
total is
sense.
5.5?
I mean, over 7.5 with A&M seems easy.
Oh, I disagree.
Over 6.5 for Kentucky seems easy.
I tend to agree on that one. I don't know what you do with Florida, so they're 5.5.
I'd go under.
You got to find me 6 wins here. Y'all ready?
Yep.
We've done this, I think, once already.
Have we?
Yeah.
We'll see if anything's changed.
I mean, it seems like it comes down to that Utah opener.
At Utah.
A loss.
All right, here's McNeese. That's a win. Tennessee. That's at home. That helps you.
I think it's a loss.
Charlotte. So you could be 2-2.
Yep.
At Kentucky. Vandy. So you're 3-3, assuming you beat Vandy. At South Carolina.
Loss.
Georgia neutral site.
Loss.
Arkansas at home.
Loss.
At LSU.
Loss.
At Mizzou. And then FSU. It's hard to find 6 wins. I think I got to bet the under on Florida.
Like, to me, it's 6 wins if you beat Utah, 5 wins if you don't.
I'm not sure Napier survives that.
No, 5 and 7 he wouldn't.
Yeah, a losing record in year 2.
Year 2. I just don't know that he survives those first 2 seasons like that. What was your reaction? You agree he doesn't survive that, or you think I'm too quick on that?
At 5 wins? No.
Yeah, 5 and 7. I'm not sure Napier lives through that.
The only thing that let Jimbo survive a 5-win season last year was the fact that he had a contract that they could not pay out.
Yeah, the money was too big.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what Billy's contract is, and Florida doesn't have Texas A&M's money. They don't have oil change money. So you got to have some money to pay out a contract. I don't know what Billy Napier's deal is, but I don't think you survive 5 wins.
The stadium's named after citrus magnates. Ben Hill Griffin, that was a citrus family, big orange producers.
Yeah, we still drink that, don't we? It still drinks good.
Our shoe still drinks good. Hey, how about something from way back at the first hour that jumped out at me in the Dan Wetzel interview? Is the fact that the Phoenix Suns owner was a walk-on at Michigan State, and they got the Rocket Mortgage guy that basically just guaranteed Mel Tucker's contract.
Well, that's how this guy made all the money, too.
Yeah. Was Rocket Mortgage?
No, he's got a different
rival.
mortgage company.
He's the rival of Rocket Mortgage.
I mean, how
And
nice
both at
must
Michigan
it be
State.
to be a Michigan State athletic director, and you got those 2 guys?
Yep.
It's amazing they're not better in athletics than they are overall.
Yeah, it's because they spend their money on their coach.
People are like, God, they keep picking bad coaches at football.
That's the SEC win total. One more time for Sir Taylor with such a great job on this graphic. You look at those right there, Georgia, Alabama, little separation, Tennessee and LSU, that top line, 11, 10, 9, and 9, and then a big gap to sort of middle of the pack.
I always feel like when we do this exercise, I end up with a bunch of overs. Is that a layman's layman?
Hey, so he donated $32 million to Michigan State.
Who did? The Suns owner?
Yep.
Seems like pocket change for a guy that can own the Suns.
$32 million?
He took $25K away from Jokic the other night.
That's right. He ought to pass that on.
I bet he spent that on dinner.